Okay, I've been in the mood to play a TBR game so badly, which is kind of a problem considering it's the middle of June. And I'm currently in the middle of 5 books, so playing a TBR game is not really realistic to choose new books. However, nobody said I can't play a TBR game to decide which one of these I read. So that's what I'm gonna do, and I don't even know what it's gonna look like, but I think what I'm gonna do, obviously I need to read a section of this and today's devotional, but I don't know if I'm gonna read more in this book or if I'm just going to leave it to the one section, but I definitely want to read in these 3. I'm super close to finishing this one, Destination Jerusalem, so that would be great if I could even finish it today. I really want to make more progress in the Brothers Karamazov? Yeah, I still don't know how to say it. It's fine. I only know some Russian. It's fine. I want to get through this one so that I can pick another book out of my bag. Not that I want to like speed through this because I know it's important and it's a very valuable and important book to read, but I have 8 books in that bag and it's already June 12th. So we need to kind of get a move on and get through some other books because I want to read all those books this month, and if I don't, I'm going to be really upset. So we need to get through it. Let me get into the game. What I'm going to do is basically read a chapter at a time, and every time I finish a chapter, I'm going to choose a different prompt. I'm going to use the heart box. I know these have like book titles, but I guess what I'll do is like if I pick out a book title, I'll just read whatever book is closest to it. We'll do the dice, the die, we'll do all that good stuff. And then I may do like a random number generator or something like that. Mix it up a little bit, have some fun, and hopefully get through some of these books because I love them, but they need to be finished. So the first one is gonna come out of here. Whatever fits this prompt the best is what we'll pick. And I'm just gonna put these back in here because I'm not actually using them for the TBR, so there's no point in me putting them in the discard bin. But anyway, just so you guys are aware. So, person on the cover. Oh, Destination Jerusalem. And the Brothers Karamazov both have people on the cover. So, what do I pick? I'm gonna go with Destination Jerusalem, just because I'm so close to finishing it. I would love to finish it up. So let's see, how many chapters do I have left? I have 2 chapters and the epilogue left, so maybe I can finish this today. I don't want to like rush through it, but I would love to finish a book today. So let's read a chapter in this. Beyond awkward angle, but I forgot I needed to read my devotions first. Oh my gosh, this section was so good. It started off with an A.W. Tozer quote and has like a bunch of his quotes in here, and he's one of my favorites. And C.S. Lewis quotes, and just like mind-blowing facts about what it's gonna be like to be with God and to be with all of the saints all together. What was the quote? Oh, now imagine what that concert will be like when all that is best in us is brought out and all that was wrong in us is decisively removed. Love that. Gosh, so many good quotes in this. Like, I underlined basically the whole thing. Not really. I tried to... What is wrong with my voice? I tried to only underline a few things, but oh my gosh, this was such a good, like, I was not expecting this. I need to write all these quotes in my handy dandy quote notebook thing. Okay, so both of my devotions today were just straight fire. It's fine. This one was talking about when we care about something or someone, we do something about it at everyone. And it's based off of John 21:15, where Jesus says, basically, if you love me, feed my lambs, which basically means, for those who are not familiar, take care of each other and take care of people. And this quote got me, because tomorrow I'll be teaching in kids class at church, and I only get to every other week, and it's been kind of crazy because we have our preschool class, which is the one I teach, combined with our elementary class in this one little room while we're at this location until next week. It's been wild, it's been crazy, and sometimes we don't get to the story. It says, we hinder children from coming to Jesus by not giving them God's word. Alright, so now I'm going to get into Destination Jerusalem. I'm a little bit pink, but okay. It's time to choose the next book. And I am debating whether I should pick from the tin. Should I pick from this tin, or should I roll the dice? I think I'm gonna roll the dice, and I guess 1 or 2 would be Destination Jerusalem again. 3 or 4 would be The Brothers Karamazov. And 5 or 6 would be No Visible Bruises, and that's going to be the next chapter I read. Are you ready? Let's press this. 1. Okay, so another chapter of Destination Jerusalem, which means I'll get to finish this lovely book. Okay, so I finished Destination Jerusalem. It is fantastic. I love this book in a sad way. It talks about the facts of ISIS and terrorism and all of that, then also talks about biblical prophecy being revealed and the things that are to come. And I love that ending to this book. It also it's cool because he talks about going to different places, being in Russia, which I've been there, being in Egypt, being in Iraq. I feel like there was somewhere else, but just I love getting the objective, just factual basis for these things, not all the opinions of everybody else, but just like what's actually happening. I love this book for that. Definitely 5 stars, 100% recommend. Now it's time to do the next part of the TBR game, which is a problem because you are resting on it. Hold on. We are going to draw another prompt. The options right now, I'm going to leave it at these 2, and then I may pick another book from my shelf to replace Destination Jerusalem. But right now, these are the 2 I'm choosing from because I really want to make progress in them. So whatever is closest, I'm going to put them here for the book aesthetic. So whatever is closest to the prompt is what I'll read next. So, I'm not getting anything. Come here, you. Okay. Fiction. Okay, well, the only one that's fiction, unfortunately, is The Brothers Karamazov. So that will be the next chapter. Okay. In part, I love this book. And in part, I don't understand. The chapter that I just read was like this really deep chapter about like actually loving people and the difficulty of this one person saying like, I love humans in general, but the more I get to know them, the less I like them in particular. So it was very interesting. And then I liked the quotes that said, for in comparison to fanciful love, active love is a cruel and frightening thing. Fanciful love thirsts for a quick deed, swiftly accomplished, and that everyone should gaze upon it. Active love, on the other hand, involves work and self-mastery, and for some it may even become a whole science. And it was just this really good, deep part, and then it went into this girl, like, laughing about making this guy uncomfortable. It's just weird. I don't know, but I'm enjoying it so far. Okay, I'm gonna choose a book in here, put it back in, unless it's one that I've already read, and then whichever one is closest to these two is what I'll read next. Or whichever one of these two is closest to it is what I'll read next. Alright, if you want to see what I picked. When work and family collide. Okay, so the closest to that would definitely be No Visible Bruises, because it's about families and it's nonfiction. And yeah, so it started off talking about this guy who used to like abuse women and engage in rape and gangs and all this stuff, was saying that the girls who were controllable were the ones who didn't have fathers, and that was how he knew that he could like manipulate them. So that's sad. Important thing to talk about. And then I also wrote down 2 quotes that I wanted to share. I think I'll share the second one first. It's not women who need to learn violence, it's men who need to learn nonviolence. And then the other quote is, it is men who perpetrate the majority of the world's violence. Even those relatively few women who are violent are most often violent in response to men's violence. Now, we're not sharing these to like blame all men, because certainly there are some good ones out there. But the ones who choose to be violent as if that's what makes a man is what this book and this chapter specifically was talking about. So it's very thought-provoking, very important. It's time to do the next TBR pick. Whichever one this goes with, I will choose one of those 2 books, No Visible Bruises or The Brothers. And then after that, I'm thinking about pulling out another book from my TBR cart. I'm not sure yet. We'll see. I've got one. It is blank, so I can choose whichever one I want. That's a tough one, because I want to finish No Visible Bruises, but I really want to read The Brothers Karamazov. What I'm going to do is see how many pages the next chapters are, and whichever one is shorter is the one I'll read next. Okay, so this one it is. It was 11 pages as opposed to 12, so I'm going to read this one next, and then I'll get back to you guys. Okay, I just have to say, I am loving this. The last chapter that I just read was another conversation between the main characters, or one of the main characters, and the elders at the monastery. Honestly, it's so good. It's kind of like reading a devotional, but in story form. I don't even know how to explain that. Like, if you know, you know. Just so good. I love that they were talking about the idea of basically talking about like the difference between how the state punishes criminals and how the church takes in those people and shows them a better way of living, I guess is what I was taking from it. And then one of the elders was saying that the ideal is that the state would rise to the level of the church, and I'm not saying it in the sense that of forcing people to believe a certain thing, but saying it in the sense that the church would be loving and giving grace and mercy to these people and showing them how to live, I guess is what I was getting from it. And then one of the main characters was saying, like, that's basically what all these other empires have required. I don't know, I don't want to spoil it, but it's just so good. And I really am enjoying this. More, like, there's more in it than I even thought, though. Now, however, I am going to take a little break. I'm going to do the rest of my devotions, which is like the listening to music and listening to a message part of that. I'm probably going to watch some booktube because I deserve it, because I've done a lot of reading today. And then when I finish all that and my laundry's done, I'll do some more TBR game kind of stuff. I would love to do like Instagram polls to have you guys choose like which book I read. I don't know. Maybe I'll set one up and see if anyone votes on it. I'm not like active in my stories enough though that the algorithm shows it a lot of times. So I don't know if that'll work, but I'll try it. I'm gonna try it. And then we'll see what you guys pick. Okay guys, so I just did what I said I was gonna do. I finished off my devotions, I listened to a message, I did my social media, I watched some booktube, and now it's a couple hours later. I'm trying to read like a book of the Bible all at once, a couple times a month, I guess. Not every day, but like frequently. Now the next one is Philippians, so I guess I'm just gonna read that. It's only like 4 chapters, so it's not long. And then I really do need to wash my hair and get ready for tomorrow, and then hopefully read a little bit more.